Hello, Wayland Middle School. This is Mr. Farley here. Going to give you some information on zero power, the exponent to the zero power and what that means. And going to do that here for you today by checking out this slideshow here. So let's see what we have. To develop this idea of a zero power, I want to go back to things that we already know. Let's start with an exponent of 3 to the 4th power. You guys know that 3 is the base and 4 is the exponent, okay, is the power. The base, remember, the base is always the number directly below the power, okay? It's directly below this exponent. And so in this case, 3 is the base. This is telling us to take the number 3, which is the base, and multiply it by itself 4 times. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 gives us 81. Likewise, same thing with 3 to the 3rd. The base is 3. Exponent of 3 means 3 times 3 times 3, which gives us 27. I think you can see the pattern developing here. 3 squared means 3 times 3, and 3 to the 1st means just 3. If we look here very closely, I think you notice in this pattern, I have my exponents decreasing by 1 with each example. And as we decrease the exponent by 1, or the power by 1 here, over here, look what happens to the result. Each time from 81 to 27, how do I get there? Oh, I divide it by 3. How do I get from 27 to 9? I divide it by 3. How do I get from 9 to 3? I divide it by 3. So that pattern happens as I decrease the power by 1 here. My evaluated result here is divided by 3 every time. So what do you think happens if we go one step further? If we keep the base of 3 and raise it to the 0 power, which is 1 below. If we follow that pattern, which I added here, we should still take the last one we had, divide it by 3, and we end up with 1. So what's pretty amazing about this, kids, is any base at all, any base in the world, it could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 47, it doesn't matter. Any base at all raised to the 0 power will always be 1. Okay, and that's amazing. That's what it is. And this is the kind of the definition of it. Any base at all, x can be anything, any number to the 0 power is going to equal 1. All right, so it's pretty cool. Any base with an exponent of 0 is equal to 1. That's what we wanted you to see here. Let's try just a couple more examples to make sure we have it. In this first one, 6 to the 0, I think everyone agrees 6 is the base, 0 is the exponent. Any base to the 0 is 1. 6 to the 0 equals 1. This middle example here, the base is -5. I wanted you to know the base was -5. That's why I put it in parentheses. Remember, the base is always the number or the variable directly below the exponent. In this case, -5 is directly below the exponent. So -5 to the 0 is equal to 1. 912 to the 0 is equal to 1. X to the 0 would be equal to 1. So one more time, kids, for this lesson, please remember, any base to the 0 power will always equal 1. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit with the problems you'll be looking at in school, in your practice problems today. As always, if you have questions, reach out to Mr. Robinette and myself. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And bottom line here, remember, any base to the 0 power will always equal 1. Thanks, kids.